Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, dogs and cats, goldfish and shark tails, you are now tuned in to the Wrestling Podcast live from the non-existent WWE Hall of Fame. It is 808s and Chair Shots. I am your host, Jeff, joined as always by the EST of the library, Miss Wakanda Rice, and not your man, Neek DiBiase. Say what's up, y'all.
Everybody.
Hold on, I forgot. Let me get the Febreze out. I've got it. Let me hit it.
Okay. That's your thing. All right. It's good to see everybody. Thank you all for tuning in, listening, watching, commenting, subscribing, all those good things. And here's how you can do those things. You can find us on and Chair Shots on Instagram and Facebook and YouTube. Please like, subscribe, and follow on all of those platforms. You can find us 808s and Chair Shots, Chair Shots on the Twitter, if you want to call it that. And also Threads as well, man. We everywhere. Growing and communicating and building with our community. So yeah, thank you all for tuning in. Hey man, we took a break last week because it wasn't much popping in wrestling. We're back now with the crew in hand, your favorite wrestling faction. Yeah, man, Andrea, you was out and about this week. I'll let you get started and tell us about your journeys with the wrestling world this weekend.
All right, so this past weekend, Memorial Day weekend, I went to Saturday night's main event on Saturday, clearly. NXT Battleground on Sunday, and then 2 nights ago, I was at Monday Night Raw, all at the Yuengling Center right down the street from my house.
Wow. Okay.
All 3 nights. I was sitting, I gotta look really closely, but I was sitting like right by the entrance. Like you can't see me on TV, but like I know where I was sitting, like in relation to the wrestlers. Like I think I was 10 rows away from where they were walking out at. I had pretty nice seats.
Nice.
Yeah.
What were your highlights of the night? I know that's a lot of wrestling, but what were some of your highlights?
Highlights of the night. Oh, probably Ron Cena on Saturday. Yeah.
That was good stuff.
That was probably that was probably a highlight of the weekend. Ron Cena on Saturday, and then Sunday was NXT Battleground. Let me think. That Soul Snatcher off the top rope, that was a highlight of the weekend.
That was crazy.
0.4.
Yeah. That was crazy. And then also, because I was told by somebody sitting near me that there were controversial reactions on the internet. Like, I stayed off the internet this weekend. I didn't want any spoilers. I didn't want anything to, like, influence my opinions on what I was about to see. But, like, I heard from somebody that there was, like, controversial opinions about this match, but it was a highlight for me. The Trick Williams versus Joe Hendry. Like, that was a really good match. It's just the energy in the building, which I'll get to that in another second. And then on Monday night, what was a highlight for me on Monday night? Probably just Becky Lynch showing up. Mm-hmm. Becky Lynch being there was a highlight. I didn't expect to see her. Jey Uso just yeeting, because I don't know. I don't think I told anybody this yet. But not on Saturday when he came out to face Logan Paul, I was in line for merch. So, yeah, I didn't get to yeet on Saturday. Yeah, like it was me and the little boy, like he was in line with his dad, and like his dad was like, "Hey, buddy, we're gonna be back at our seats when he comes out." No, like when I tell you that little boy froze when he heard it. I feel so bad, and it sucked too because the merch line we were at, we could see through the gate, and he was directly across from where we were, so we could see it happening. We just couldn't really participate how we wanted to.
Yeah. And live, that's amazing live to participate in.
Yeah, it really was. So being able to have that chance again on Monday was A1. And I'm trying to think, anything else?
Can I ask a question?
Yeah, sure.
How was the Bronson Reed thing live when he showed up?
Oh, we didn't know what the hell was going on. We didn't even know. And this is why I say I stayed off the internet, because a lot of like it does the energy and this is also what I was gonna get into a little bit when I said the energy in the arena. But
Okay.
like the energy in the actual building versus what y'all see on TV.
Mm-hmm.
Cause I came home and I watched some of the stuff. Like it doesn't translate. It does not translate.
Right. Yeah.
Okay.
So and I'll use Trick Williams and Joe Hendry as an example, because that's the one of the people I was sitting next to. He said like people on the internet was like, oh well, like the crowd seemed shocked and the crowd didn't seem to agree with the decision. I was just like, for a second we were shocked that Trick Williams won, but after that, I don't know how long they stayed on air, but like the crowd went up. Trick Williams ran back out and did a victory lap. Like we were celebrating. So I don't know what people saw or why they may have felt like we was against it, but no, like the crowd, the energy in the crowd, like this was one of the better crowds this weekend. Like I don't have any complaints about nothing this weekend as far as the crowd goes.
Wow.
Like everybody except for one thing, and it's really stupid, but I don't know if y'all heard it, but they kept chanting "We want tables," and it's just like none of the matches this weekend have that stipulation. Like why are y'all chanting?
Hey.
It's my only complaint, but at the same time, it's just like people are that excited. They just want to see some cool shit.
Yeah.
But what was your original question?
That was it. What was the Bronson Reed like? How did that go in real?
Yeah, no, they were white hot for that. People didn't think like. Are you asking about like when he joined Seth or just when he popped back up?
Joined Seth
the first time.
My bad. When he joined Seth.
Oh, when he joined Seth, we were shocked.
Okay.
Like there were lots of boos and like lots of confusion. Yeah, but
hey,
it was
okay. I think that's a good like a good faction. Like on paper, that you got Seth as your leader, Bronson and Braun as your muscle, and Paul as your talker. That's a heck of a stable right there. Like they.
Can I say something real quick?
Yeah, do you think
about that? I told my seat buddy the same thing. Well, not the same thing, but I have an idea, and we could possibly talk about this. I know for sure we're going to talk about this at a later date. But Seth Rollins and John Cena are going to cross paths before the retirement tour is over. They have to. They both have the same ideology going in opposite directions. Seth Rollins wants to secure the future of wrestling, and John Cena has talked about ruining wrestling. They have to cross paths at some point.
But you paying attention. You on top of it with that. That's good stuff.
Who qualified for that Money in the Bank match? Wasn't it Seth? It was Seth, right?
Yep.
Yeah. A good match. Great match.
You see?
Oh, it makes sense.
I don't know. I'm not saying Seth wins for sure, but I'm just saying it's being set up.
Yeah.
But that's just something I caught this weekend.
No, that makes total sense to me. Like I would love to see it because here's the thing: Cena needs a big match, like to kind of make this all make sense. I think we're going to talk about Money in the Bank here in a second, but to me, I think we all can agree so far. This is minus after Travis Scott and everything, this has been a little lackluster. If we're being honest, and I also we've talked about it before as well. It's just we don't want to go down this road. But him, Cena and Seth figuring this out, or like you said, crossing paths, would definitely be a boost because the mic work alone would be amazing.
Yeah, and then too, you already have John Cena. We see he's trying to align himself with Logan Paul. Seth Rollins and Logan Paul, they have history already. We just don't know if John Cena's going to build a full faction or what that might look like. I'm thinking right now this might be the War Games match, if we being for real. I don't know. I'm just spitballing right now.
It could, because I think it's safe to say, like Roman.
You think Logan Paul will really get in the cage?
I think Logan Paul, they could convince Logan Paul to do anything. If you give him time enough to prepare a match, I think Logan Paul will do anything. Like,
because as much as I dislike him, I do get the feeling that he wants to take this serious.
Yes.
So I think he would get in the cage match just to legitimize himself.
I do too.
Mm-hmm.
That's my thought.
I agree with that wholeheartedly. And to be fair, what I was going to say is like Roman is so far out of the picture right now. And when he comes back, he's going to be more focused on CM Punk, I think. That aspect of it. Yeah, getting a fresh face in the War Games would be pretty dope. So I do see the Seth faction being part of that. So that's a
Yeah,
good
you get
observation.
Bronson Reed, Logan Paul, Braun Breaker. You get a bunch of new faces in it, depending on which way you take it.
And you give those new faces an opportunity to make an impact because we always say we want new people around, right? But sometimes we don't give those new people a chance to actually build and show that they're worthy of having a spot like that. So this would be dope to let them grow and show that they can be in the main event picture. I like it. That's good stuff. Nick, what you got?
I agree. I agree with everything she said. It makes sense. I
Hold
can
up.
see self
Oh,
versus.
hold up, Nick. What's up with your mic?
And you sound like you in
Switch the game.
You sound like you're in the
fish.
yeah. that's perfect. You're in the fish tank. Hey, so Nick, let's talk about Money in the Bank. You got the card pulled up for the people.
I got it.
That I do.
You got it, Andrew? Okay, let's talk about it. Who is set for the Money in the Bank match so far?
Okay, we have Laura Vicaria versus Becky Lynch in the last chance match for the WWE Women's Intercontinental Championship. We have Cody Rhodes and Jey Uso versus John Cena and Logan Paul in the tag match. We have Alexa Bliss, Roxanne Perez, Rhea Ripley, and Julia. And we have 2 more to be announced. Also, we have Solo Sikoa, LA Knight, Penta, Seth Rollins, and 2 more to be announced for both of the Money in the Bank ladder matches. So we're not done with the battle matches yet. I said they got 2 more matches left.
As a recording. Okay.
Can I say something real quick?
Please.
Go ahead.
Please.
This goes back to what I was saying before.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Cody Rhodes and Jey Uso versus John Cena and Logan Paul. Both of the world titles are tied up in a tag team match at the Money in the Bank pay-per-view.
Yep.
Depending on who these 2 more to be determined are, and depending on the match order, I put my money on somebody getting cashed in on.
Yep.
That night.
All right,
You're
Jay.
saying they win it that night and cash in that night.
I think so.
I agree.
Yeah. Because you need a splash and whoo, wow, okay. Seth, Seth. Right now.
Hold on though, because we still have, it's 2 weeks away and we still got 2 more people coming into the match. So
right.
It looked like it might be Seth, but we don't know for sure. So gotta wait. But that's my theory.
Better not be Solo. I'll tell you that much. So far, I don't see who else could be the 2 in the match. I was looking for the qualifying
I don't
matches
know
right
what
now.
the qualifiers are.
Okay, I know. Let me see.
Ooh, okay. Friday is going to be Andrade, Jacob Fatu versus and Carmelo Hayes. Those 3 are in the next qualifier for the men.
Okay.
Wow.
So Jacob wins that.
Just screw Andrade and Carmelo. How do you know? Well,
Only reason I say that is because I think Jacob wins that qualifier, but so it goes back to old school wrestling. Solo assumes Jacob is going to be in the Money in the Bank match to help him win him being Solo win the match, and then that's how we get to Solo versus Jacob at SummerSlam. And
you forgetting about somebody. You forgetting about Jeff Cobb, I think.
Jeff Cobb.
I forget.
Yeah, that's his name.
JC Mateo.
Jeff Cobb is a better name, but
it is.
We're forgetting about him because my thought process is he's gonna, maybe purposefully, maybe inadvertently, I don't know, he might screw Jacob some kind of way because there's tension there already. I feel like that's where Jacob goes next. I don't think Jacob gets Money in the Bank. I think Jacob feuds with, well, not feud, but like internal conflict with JC Mateo, which then leads to the blow up with Solo Sikoa. I think that's where that goes. I don't think that's going to be title or Money in the Bank involved at all. Like I don't see either one of them winning. Qualifying, yeah. Winning, no.
Well, that's what I mean. Like in the like they both qualify, right? But Solo assumes that Jacob's going to help him win the Money in the Bank because he's,
Okay.
Solo. And then when he does it, now we get to have them butt heads type thing and go on from there and have a big feud and blow that off and let Jacob go on to be the star that he's going to be. That's what if I mean in a perfect world Carmelo wins, right? And we finally get him pushed to the moon. But
that's what I'm getting at. I feel like it's a possibility JC might interfere thinking he's helping when he's actually hurting. Kind of like the situation with Roxanne them on Monday. Something like that. I don't know. That's where my mind is, because I don't know. I need some unpredictability. I don't think people would be predicting that. Like you said, like you just automatically, Jacob's winning that. How you know for sure? How you know?
I don't. Maybe it's personal. It's personal bias,
No, but
right?
it makes sense. It makes sense for you to say that though, with the way things are going. I just want to be difficult. Yeah.
It is nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with that. How do we feel about that main event, though? I think you had a great point talking about someone's probably going to get cashed in on, but that tag match. How do we feel about that? How you feel, Nick?
I have nothing, but somebody getting cashed in on.
Damn. Okay, but as far as the actual match, you don't think it's going to be?
I mean, it's going to be a nice story. I'll go with that. Yeah. Somebody getting cashed in on. I'm sorry. Okay. Depends on the timing. That's the only thing I can think of. That and the story itself. But other than that, somebody getting cashed in on.
Okay.
Like I'm with Nick on that one. Like the thought of somebody getting cashed in on is the only thing that's making this match worth it to me at this point. Because when it was first announced, I'm like, I don't want that. What is this doing? What is it? What is it doing?
It was completely random.
Yeah.
Go ahead. Again.
No, I'm glad Cody came back. I wasn't expecting him to come back, but it makes perfect sense for him to return in Tampa. Like, duh.
That's home, right?
But yeah, no, that's not what I wanted for Money in the Bank. I don't know what I wanted for Money in the Bank, but I knew it wasn't this.
I feel like they were at a point where it's like, we got to figure something out here. And with so much happening with the Saturday night's main event and, all Raw and all these things, you couldn't just have a traditional one-on-one match. You had to try something different with the champions. And then with Triple H at the helm, he does these six matches tops, right? So having both champions on there, he couldn't do that. I think it's a good opportunity to show the other guys have a chance. Other guys and girls have a chance to steal the show and Money in the Bank.
Yes,
they really do. Without the cloud of the heavyweight championship or the universal championship being the centerpiece of the event, now we have an opportunity for everyone else to steal the show. But so far, the card's pretty underwhelming. So my theory's going to shit.
But I mean, you might be onto something. I don't know, because this is only 4 matches.
Yeah.
Triple H 5 is his perfect number.
5, yeah, 5, yeah.
6 if we lucky. 6
You're
if we're feeling generous.
You're absolutely right.
So, no, I don't know.
Nick, you wanted to talk about
what would y'all want to see?
Go ahead. Go ahead.
Huh?
What was the question?
I said, what would y'all want a 5th match to be for Money in the Bank? Like if you had to book something in addition to what we already have.
I think that's tough, not knowing who the other 2 participants are right now. I'm a big fan of tag team wrestling. So I would love the New Day to have something fun to do in a tag team match, or the Street Profits, for that sake. Those belts are just sitting there right now. I mean, they get defended on the TV shows, but I would love for them to have a big feud to have. So if it were up to me, it would be a tag team match. Another tag team match.
I agree. I'll probably go Street Profits versus Faxum. Yeah. Two of the top tag teams going against each other. I don't care if one's not a heel. That works for me. Because
Okay.
you already let the tag team division down when you then put that triple threat on Mania. So, hey.
And they put on a banger.
Yeah, that was on SmackDown, right?
Yep.
Y'all want to talk about TNA?
Sure, why not? I
Nick,
got
you brought
thoughts.
it. Nick, you brought this up. What?
All right. Now, to me, this wasn't a big deal, but with Trick Williams winning the TNA championship while being on NXT WWE, a lot of people had their gripes and grumblings about this whole situation. A lot of people feel WWE is taking advantage of TNA, and TNA is not doing anything about it to fight back. And it's been back and forth between both of them and who's doing what, normal internet wrestling community hijinks. So, with that being said, what do y'all think about the relationship so far? Do you think it's good for one side and bad for the other? Or is it about in the middle? Or is it the whole reverse of that? So, I'm asking you, Andrea, what do you think?
Well, speaking on my own personal experience, I'll say that this partnership, in my own opinion, based off of what I have seen, it has helped give TNA a little bit more visibility. I feel.
True. You got a point.
Yeah. Yeah, because I mean, like I say it all the time, like I'm a cord cutter. But like I'm subscribed to TNA on YouTube. I see more about what they're doing. Like if I still had cable and like I could access the channel that they are on TV, I would watch TNA more regularly. Yeah. But no, I think the partnership, if it really just depends on how it continues to grow. Because right now, like I say, it's giving them more visibility. It's like it's a partnership. I feel. Oh my goodness, I just lost my train of thought.
You were saying that you
But
feel like it's a partnership and that is giving them
yeah,
more visibility.
It's give or take.
yeah, it's give and take.
And
Like
take.
they're WWE superstars are people who would watch TNA but not NXT or getting exposed. Like they're because there's people who it's weird to say this because of how big WWE is, but we are deep in the internet trenches. Like we know there's people who will watch Ring of Honor, AEW, but won't turn on WWE because they don't like it's principle to them. So
Tribalism.
people who would not normally watch like a NXT but would tune into like a TNA or something, they're getting to see that hey, look what's happening in WWE. Like look what's being developed here. And then people who would not normally watch TNA are seeing, oh look, pro wrestling isn't just the WWE. So I think in terms of that, it's good, but you want to be careful because if you're not, it could turn into like a feeder system. I don't think it's there yet. I don't think it's there yet. But if they're not careful, because they've already, Joe Hendry is looking to make the move, it seems. They done already got Jordan Grace.
Yep, going to SmackDown.
Jordan stick around, they might get her husband, Gresham, too. Who else? I don't know. It's maybe, I don't know. Maybe some of the released NXT stars will show up in TNA. I don't know if it's a symbiotic relationship in that regard, but it's teetering.
Okay.
I like that.
Like it's beneficial, but it could easily be taken advantage of.
Right.
I have a very similar, but I'll take it one more direction. I think this is a way for WWE to create their own competition. It's a way to eliminate competition, which is AEW, because if we're being honest, AEW's ratings versus WWE's ratings, they don't compare. We know that, right? But AEW's ratings versus NXT ratings is where the fight is, right? So if you somehow can now take that audience and make them a full NXT audience, because I do believe NXT, AEW, TNA, Ring of Honor, those wrestling fans, there is overlap with that wrestling group, right? Because that's more of a I want to see banger matches type of wrestling fan, not really big promo, big storyline. Like they're not here for the bloodline. But Kenny Omega versus Will Ospreay doing flippity flop, floppity flip for 50
See, that's
minutes.
what I was getting at.
Yeah. So you have that type of fan that wants to see that type of stuff. And to me, what WWE is doing with TNA is creating an alternative to their biggest competition on paper, which is AEW. So if you build up TNA and it becomes more viable, and then maybe even purchase it and you get that back catalog of TNA, because let's be honest, that catalog of TNA has some stuff on it. Like we joke about some of the years of TNA, but you got Prime AJ Styles, you got Jeff Jarrett, you have Booker T, you have you have a group of people that mid 2000s run that is some good stuff. So I think this is a multi-layered relationship that is leading to WWE trying to put a stamp on AEW, like get them all the way out. What you got, Nick?
For me, I feel like it's a partnership. It's give and take, right?
Yeah.
Remember when AEW tried with their partnership with TNA, and it didn't feel like a partnership. It just felt like AEW just finna take over TNA, and they never utilized the women enough, and they never had TNA women on AEW, and they never just. I mean, they did have a situation where one of their talents had the TNA belt. Remember, Kenny Omega had the AEW championship and the TNA belt at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
So let's get into that one right there. Now, this partnership seems with WWE seems a little more cohesive a little bit at times. Sometimes it's over, like sometimes I feel like they're just letting WWE guys win more than TNA
There's a
guys
plan.
sometimes.
Seems like there's a plan right now. Yeah.
Yeah, it seems like a plan though. Yeah.
Yeah.
And now that you got Trick Williams with the TNA championship, that helps a little more. Like we forget that we had what was it, Last Legend and Jakara Jackson go over to TNA and then win the women's knockout championship tag belts. So we have certain things like this. It's a give and take. They have a plan. Hopefully it keeps working out. It's some things that they should have worked out on with having Jordan Grace leave that quick and not have a championship in NXT, and I don't know. That was kind of weird, but as long as we don't see that racist with a belt and on NXT, I'm perfectly fine.
Oh, you better believe that's coming, buddy. Don't you worry about it. She was brought back for a reason. Yeah, she was brought back for a reason. She's a lightning bolt, whether it be controversy, whether it be appreciation, whatever it is. People like her, or people. No, let me say it another way. She creates a reaction, and in 2025, if you could get people to react, people want to put you in front of the screen.
Like I said, as long as she ain't on the TV, I'm good. What you gotta say, Andrea?
I got a question. Got a controversial question.
I like it.
What you said she creates a reaction.
Yes.
Got two questions. One, what makes a reaction worth it? And then two, how are we deciding who is worth potentially sacrificing reputations or doing bad business for in order to get ratings?
Okay.
And when I say that, what I'm hinting at is why Tessa Blanchard and not Alberto Del Rio?
Well, so Alberto Del Rio is coming back, right?
Is he? Is that official?
With the purchase of AAA, Alberto Del Rio is AAA. So he's back in he's under the umbrella again, right? So, but to keep it on, because we were talking about Tessa Blanchard, to keep it on Tessa Blanchard, what makes her worth? What makes the reaction worth putting someone in front of the camera? I look at it like this: there's a reason why Jake Paul and his brother are as popular as they are. There's a reason why. even I would say there's a reason why the president is who the president is. I'm not gonna take it that far, but there's a reason why when we do this show, we say, "Hey, like and subscribe and comment," because that comment, those type of things are currency nowadays. So if you are TNA or NXT or in a bigger standpoint WWE, and you just put this woman's picture up, and it draws a response, no matter what, you got something. It may not be what you want to stand behind, but businesses look at it like, yo, she's drawing a reaction. And she was, before the BS happened, she was talented. She was popular. People liked her. She has a name, right? She has a wrestling name. But I don't want to see it. Let's just get that straight. I don't want to see it, but I see why they brought her back because she draw. It's like Kanye. It's like Kanye. Like nobody wants to hear those Kanye records anymore. But he keeps saying stupid stuff to make us to draw people in and maybe think about pressing play on one of those stupid ass. Go ahead.
Okay. Because you're not wrong.
That's a hell of a comparison, but he's right.
You're not wrong. But here's my thing, because as you're talking, I'm thinking like this is slippery slope going down.
You talking about like yeah.
You're talking about they get a reaction. It might not be what you want to stand behind, but yeah. I'm thinking about lots of people who get reactions. Hulk Hogan get reactions.
Shit.
Brock Lesnar get reactions.
Exactly. And I think if Brock wants to come
back though.
I'll do you one better. If Brock says he wants to come back, they'll figure a way to get Brock back. Because what he did, or accused of doing, let me say that, what he's accused of doing, shit, if Vince wanted to come back, there's a group of people who would allow Vince to come back. And especially with wrestling fans being so incubated from the real world, if Vince came back tomorrow, if that theme song hit on Friday Night SmackDown or Monday Night Raw, think about the reaction the wrestling world would have to Vincent Kennedy McMahon showing up.
I think Vince coming back would be outside of wrestling as well, because people are like, well, isn't that like... Because especially now since Linda McMahon is in politics, like she's in the cabinet now, I think that would be a little bit bigger of a story.
Yeah.
Brock Lesnar, I think, fits this scenario better, but I think if Vince McMahon came back, that would be a little bit bigger. Like that would be... Oh, see, this is what I'm talking about. See, like, how are you deciding, not you specifically, but like just generally, like, how are you deciding like what kind of reaction is worth it? Because like, yes, these kinds of people get reactions, but at what cost? Like, you alienating like another aspect of your fan base, like people who will actually pay money and support you. Like the likes and views, those are all currency on the internet, but like the people that's actually putting money in your pocket, you risk alienating them when you make these kinds of decisions. Which is why I say, like in the Vince McMahon example, he would come back and he would be big, it would be a thing, but it would attract the wrong type of people to the product. Like it would attract people who think like he should be rewarded for doing the type of stuff that he do. He would be rewarded. He would be it would attract the people who have like the same type of politics. So that's what I'm saying. Like, at what cost? Like, how are you? Like, what is it really worth? You know.
So then, my question to you would be: the very first Raw on Netflix. There's Real American Beer is the sponsor. It's on the wrestling ring, and you bring out Hulk Hogan. Like, and you have Prime hydration drink is also a part of it. All these people have the same political ties, right? And they all kind of have the same standpoint on certain things. Like, again, we're not taking it to politics. I'm just being honest. These people are all aligned with the same people. So when you say, is it worth alienating a certain group of people? My question would be, how would they know those people are alienated? Because to be a wrestling fan, you gotta look over a lot of shit.
You'll see it in your bottom line. That's what I'm getting at. Like if you own a business or you run, like let's say, that's too controversial. That's like if we got on this podcast right now and we want everybody to like, listen, subscribe, and all of that. But then we get on here and we say, if you got dreads and wear glasses on Wednesdays, we don't mess with you. And then we invite people on here to talk bad about people who got locks and wear glasses on Wednesdays.
Right.
And like that's like, and we got people who wear glasses and got dreads who support us, who buy our merch, and like, so that's what I'm getting at. Like
right.
you risk, you like, if getting the most amount of money is the goal, like they done already showed us, like across other industries, these MAGA people, they're not spending their money. They're not spending their money.
Right.
So I'm just saying, like, is your bottom line worth it? Is what I'm really getting at. Is this, when it starts to affect the bottom line, are they going to regret this?
That was going to be the point. That was going to be my last point, is that will they see that the bottom line is impacted simply because, I don't want to speak for nobody on this show, but I don't think those people's views on certain things align with what we think, right? But we still tune into every PLE, most Monday Night Raws, some SmackDowns, NXT, anytime something's going on. So I say this all the time, to be a wrestling fan, you got to look over a lot of stuff, right? You have to have some pretty thick skin, especially from the late 80s to the 90s. It was some wild stuff they got away with back then, early 2000s. But if you're able to look past that and still enjoy the content, will the bottom line be impacted? You see what I'm saying? Like, it has to be something that's so like what's my guy's name that we always talk about that was the biggest waste of talent? Prince. Velveteen Dream. Oh. It's gotta be so egregious, like Velveteen Dream, to where it's like, yeah, bro, you might not ever come back. It's gotta be something so egregious, like, well, his accusations, I should say. He might not ever come back. Alberto Del Rio, we saw that. Like, yeah, I did say he's back, but it is in the AAA form. I don't think he's going to be on WWE TV, but he's still under the umbrella. Like, that stuff was egregious he was doing. Jimmy Superfly Snuka, egregious stuff that he was accused of. I think he was convicted. I don't know, but accused of. So everybody has a line. I just think WWE's line is a little further out than we actually are, that we want to admit to. That's it. I'll leave it at that. We could do this. We can have this conversation. This sucks. Sabu pass. Go ahead.
Oh no, I was just gonna, because it's not even just the bottom line too. It's morale, like behind the scenes.
Now that's
also part of your bottom line. You really want to bring back somebody that get off on pissing on their coworkers? That's who you want in your locker room?
That's a wild statement, but man, that was the accusation, though, right? That was the accusation. That is something. Yeah.
I feel bad for saying that after you brought up, Sabu passed, but
no, it's the truth.
I needed to get that thought out.
Yeah,
because it's not always just about money too. Is what I was getting at. Like, for we're doing this for why? Like, there's always gonna be money to be made. You don't always have to you don't always have to do shock value. But yes, Sabu passed away. It's very sad. I miss him.
So before we get out of here, let's talk about some of our favorite Sabu moments. Nick, do you have a favorite Sabu moment?
I'd say the match he almost killed himself and his opponent, Sabu versus RVD, Hardcore Heaven, 1996.
Good times, man. Good times.
Yeah, I don't know how they still were able to get out the ring after that one. Yeah, good stuff.
Okay. Andrew, do you have one? Or two?
Probably versus John Cena. Yeah. I can't remember when, but because I was ECW was before my time.
Yes.
So yes. I got to see Sabu a little bit later, and like that whole. Listen, man. Yeah. Because I pulled it up just to make sure, like, I got like this. Like, he wrestled John Cena, right? Like, I'm remembering this, right? I'm looking at it, and like that part where he runs up on the chair, jumps on the top rope, and then does the leg drop off the table.
Yeah.
John Cena got a concussion, apparently. Yeah. But it looked amazing. R.I.P. Sabu. John Cena, drink your milk.
So that was Sabu's thing. Nick brought up the hardcore heaven with him and RVD. I'll say my favorite Sabu moment isn't even a match. It is, and you can YouTube this. All my ECW people know what I'm talking about. It's Taz and Sabu were probably the biggest A1B, biggest rivalry ever in ECW.
Mm-hmm.
So Taz is in the ring, and I forget who he had just finished wrestling, but the lights go out. Sabu had been out injured for months, but there was genuine hatred that they were showing between the two of them, that they did not like each other, and it was going to be the match of the year, and blah 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 blah. The lights go out. And you know the ECW, their production value is really bad. So when the lights went out, you couldn't see a damn thing because all the lights were out. Like every light in the arena was out because that's what ECW has to do. The lights go out, 10 seconds later, lights come back on. Sabu is in the ring. And that crowd goes insane because no one knew he was going to be there. No one knew it was going to happen. And you thought they hadn't fought. They haven't physically put hands on each other in a year. And so you thought it was going to finally happen. Lights go back out. Sabu disappears. Like that to me was like ECW in a nutshell. They could tell a story. Paul Heyman could tell a story better than anybody in the business. And that rivalry between Sabu and Taz, the cliche thing is saying feeds families. That fed families in that corporation because that was amazing. And yeah, and the promos, you know, say what you want about Taz. Taz was a great promo, especially in his day with ECW, and that was it for me. So R.I.P. to Sabu. I hated that last match happened 2 weeks, a month before he passed, and people are saying that match may have had something to do with it, and that's just strange. I don't even want to get into that.
I don't think that's the case.
No, no one should. Yeah.
I do wonder though, because like I've heard about this happening with like much older people, like in their 80s or 90s. Okay. But like once they stop, because this happened with I think Ruth Bader Ginsburg too. But like once they retire and they stop doing the thing that they've been doing nearly every day for their whole life, like their body's just like, oh, I'm over it, and then they pass away. I was thinking maybe that's what it was because I didn't know how old Sabu was. Yeah. But it's just like that was crazy to me that he just retired and had his last match. And then he's gone like 2 weeks, a month later. So I thought maybe that could have been it, but I don't think so. And I don't like the rumors either. I've never heard of Kratom killing anybody.
Yeah, that's another part of it.
Like I've had Kratom before. Like it's like a coffee green tea type of deal. It's not that it ain't gonna kill you. It might make you go to sleep or something, but it's not finna kill you. I think this was just an unfortunate, untimely death. I don't think it was anything. I just hate that people get online and speculate like he didn't leave a family behind who got to read this stuff when they get online. I don't like that.
That'd be the main shit. Like you said it all right there. That'd be the main thing. Like, bro, stop when someone leaves us at an early, because 60, I think he was 6. That's still young, right? You still got a lot of life to live. When someone leaves us at an early time like that, it's not a time to speculate, not a time to bring up what this happened, man. I can go on about this because I remember I had someone pass away a couple of weeks ago, and it had someone else pass. I knew someone else passed away maybe 3 days ago, and he's 44. Yeah, I'm 40. He's 41. He's like maybe 44. And I remember people asking me, "What happened?" Like, no, bro, he's dead. Like that's it. Like, I don't know what happened. I don't know. Like, I'm not asking anyone what happened, bro. He died. That's all I know. And why is like that always kind of irks me a little bit. But that I can again, I'm not gonna get on my soapbox about that. But Sabu is no longer with us. One of the legends, ECW legend for sure. I don't think he's in the Hall of Fame yet, or no, he's not in the Hall of Fame yet. He should have been. He should have been, and of course now
we talked about this earlier this year.
Yeah, we did.
I think it was you, Jeff, who said you would induct Sabu, but he probably wouldn't want to go in. I think you said that.
Yeah, you did say that.
Yeah.
Something of that nature.
Yeah. So, all right, man. R.I.P. Sabu. This is a good show, y'all. It's fun. Talk about some wrestling stuff. and talk about some stuff that we normally don't talk about. I'm always in for that. Good question, Andrew. That was dope.
No,
Like, I got anything to say before we get out of here?
if you live in Florida, drive safely.
Okay.
However, drive like you're trying to get where you're going. Like 45 is if the speed limit is 45, like that's not a suggestion. Like you shouldn't be going 37 in the 45. Like you should be going 45.
You gotta go 45.
Yeah.
You gotta
Also,
go
too,
45.
like I don't know how y'all drive elsewhere, but in Tampa, if the speed limit is 45 but traffic is going 60, you also need to be going 60.
That was in driving school. You go with the flow of traffic. Like I remember that.
Okay, all right. I'm just
Yeah.
making sure. I'm just making sure because I be driving in my car, my little Toyota. I be going through it every day because people just don't know. But anyways, please drive. Refer to your driver's ed textbook.
Yeah.
You need it. We need it here in Florida. We need better driver's ed. But I digress.
Nick, what you got?
Hey, fam, look here. Dear high school graduations, if the graduating class has over 200 people, don't have it in a small, confined space.
That's good advice. True.
Now, my godchild graduated. She's going to, guess what? Florida Atlantic University. Crazy, right? But yeah. Her graduating class was a grand total of 523 kids.
What school was that?
If each one of them has two parents, that's over 1,000 people.
Yeah.
And they bring their aunties, cousins, and everybody else. That could be almost 3,000, right? Yeah. If the math is tingling that there. And you put us somewhere that holds only 2,500 people.
Oh, that's irresponsible.
Y'all top each other.
And a fire hazard. So, yeah, I'm going to need for these high school graduations to either wrap it up quick or split it up into two if you have over 300 people graduating. That's all I want.
Tickets?
They did tickets. People still try to get in.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
Oof.
So,
sorry you had to get through that one.
Yeah, high school graduation classes. Do a better time with the picking the buildings. Thank you very much. That is my PSA. Good night.
Thank you, everybody, for tuning in. Thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. Like we talked about the currency of liking and subscribing and commenting. Thank you for doing that. Oh, before we get out of here, people are asking me when is Sonny James, the negative one, coming back, and old Rico Benoit coming back. We definitely gonna get those guys on in the future for everybody that's asking. What's up, Dick?
I wanted to bring that up, but we'll talk about that off camera.
Okay, we'll talk about that. Bet. But on that note, again, thank y'all for thank y'all for listening, thank y'all for liking and subscribing and commenting. But most importantly, please stop throwing chairs. Peace.
RP around the horn.